Hey there people, it is your boy Roman, your favorite neighborhood Russian, and welcome to sunny, beautiful Lisbon, Portugal. I've been living here in Portugal for about 11 months now, and you know, it's a beautiful city with a lot to like. It's really enjoyable, really beautiful. But the thing is, it seems like some rage-baiting right-wing slobtubers seem to think a different way. They actually think Lisbon is terrible and it has fallen. Yes, I've noticed a huge influx of videos on the internet recently where essentially people walk around Lisbon, they show like areas with immigrants and they have like tourists walking around essentially, and they say, look at this is horrible, the West has fallen, billions must die. Like for example, there's this guy, Wesley Winter, who literally looks like a Chad Wojak caricature. He has an entire channel essentially devoted to this type of stuff, making videos about how, you know, this or that country has fallen.
I would rather have 500,000 Germans in Portugal than 100,000 Indians.
Oh, hell no, man. What the fuck, man?
Do you have a problem with that?
Yeah, I do.
What's racist about what he said? I'm in my own country, I can speak whatever I want. Yeah, what's the problem?
That's great.
Yeah, so just accept it, yeah.
He was very quick to call you a racist. I mean,
Yeah,
how did that make
yeah.
you feel?
Well, to be honest, I don't really mind.
Backpacker Ben, a friend of Border Bankrupt, he also made a video like this, why everybody's living in Lisbon, the worst city of all time. And also this one couple who looks like I'm on shrooms made a similar video. So these videos get a ton of views and essentially all the comments are just full of neo-Nazis. So you know, today I decided to go out there in the city of Lisbon for myself, in the very center, really take a look and conduct a bit of an investigation if Lisbon has indeed fallen. And actually guys, I'm not gonna be doing that alone today because I have a special guest, Dave in Portugal.
What's up, Team America, Mother Russia together? We might just solve peace today.
Yes, the ultimate collab. Two foreigners walking around in Portugal, telling Portuguese people what to think.
Look at what these socialists have done.
Yes.
These people smiling, having fun.
But no, on a serious note though, like Dave is an American YouTuber who's been living here in Portugal for a few years now.
Yeah, almost 3 years.
Yeah, you know the language for a little bit as well. Yeah.
Mais ou menos, tem dias.
Yes, you have a more or less decent understanding of the culture here, kind of, and I thought it would be interesting for us to join forces, kind of, and walk around the beautiful Lisbon today and see once again how it's been destroyed, and you know, once again, I don't know.
This looks absolutely terrible.
Yes, absolutely.
These people aren't having fun. These people aren't having fun.
Yes. So yeah, in this video, we're going to be exactly going to all these areas that, you know, these rage-baiting YouTubers usually film. We're going to be deliberately checking out all the worst areas, supposedly, of Lisbon, and kind of, once again, taking a look at what is going on, and if all these rage-baiting YouTubers really are correct.
We're gonna be buying some spice.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe we'll even smoke it.
So anyway, what we're walking here through right now is an area that's like the most central, the most touristy in Lisbon. It's called Baixa. Like inside district here that was basically built after the earthquake of Lisbon of 1755 that, you know, ravaged and destroyed the entire city. Yeah, that guy right there is he's going wild. He's going crazy. He is playing copyrighted music though, that's a bit of an issue. So we need to get away immediately. So we're here in the city center, right, in the most touristic area. Like you see some things here that are emblematic of this being a touristic neighborhood, like people selling just stuff on the street. I've actually seen police here like apprehend people that sell stuff on the street like pretty quickly usually. Like sometimes they just sell it essentially when the cops are not around.
Yeah, like you see in Barcelona where they have like they'll pull everything up and they'll grab everything and take off running, you know?
Right, yeah, exactly. That's actually something that does not happen in Lisbon. Like, this is also one thing that I really don't get as somebody who's been living here for almost a year now, like how they always say that, like, once again, Lisbon is like extremely unsafe now or something. The stories that I hear from people who live in like Barcelona, who get their phones and like their bags just snatched in the streets, I've never heard like a single story of that happening here. In fact, here like in Lisbon in the city center, there's been cases where like I was going on a city bike and I left my phone in the bike for like 5 minutes. I come back and it's still there.
Still there, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty.
So I'm like, that's incredible.
It's not. The crime here is nothing like Barcelona or Madrid, or it's happening. I think that it's increasing, but as a city gets more popular, it's a normal thing that kind of happens, you know?
Yeah,
I think as people realize that more money is arriving, then more thieves arrive to steal it, I guess.
Yeah.
It's just a natural thing.
Absolutely. And because like this place is just such a massive like tourist hub, I guess, right? Just packed. And this is like one of the streets that, you know, usually every tourist will go when they come to Lisbon. So again, it's expected that you will see some people trying to like sell stuff. There's these supposedly drug dealers here on the street, but they actually don't really sell real drugs, as far as I understand.
Yeah,
we will
it's
probably
kinda
see a couple of just now.
maybe with some baggies of oregano or something.
Yeah.
It's definitely a big thing. A big thing in Portugal. I think people complain about a lot is the harassment of. This usually happens later at night when people are going to clubs and bars
Yes.
and stuff.
Okay.
But yeah, you do have quite a bit of street peddlers, I guess you could call them.
I mean, I guess in a way you could say it's kind of like maybe what's happened is that just Lisbon is becoming way more popular to a degree where that it hasn't ever been before, in a sense, right? And I think maybe what's going on is a bit of a Prague-ification in a sense of Lisbon. You know what I'm saying? How in a way like this central area here becomes almost like a theme park.
Yeah, it is like a Disneyland.
Yeah.
And this area specifically, show this cheese stuff.
Okay.
These are what the big problems are.
Okay.
These, like a lot of these places, look around. Like there's no Portuguese people working here.
Yes.
This is like what I would say to people caution when they come here. This is not Portuguese, and the stuff around here is like, if you
thank you.
If you ever have a person trying to get you into their restaurant, it's not a good sign.
Exactly. Yeah. Here in Portugal, like in a regular neighborhood, anywhere essentially, once again outside this like central touristy area, it's not a culture here for people to like stand outside and to invite you in.
And if you go to the right restaurants, they kind of like don't want you to. It's almost like they act like they don't want you to be there.
I've gotten food like here once, and I've already regretted it. So
that's
back then.
I will tell anybody coming to Lisbon, when you're in this area, stay vigilant and try your best not to.
Thank you.
Yeah, obviously you can see we're getting approached for to buy things.
Yeah.
But this is nothing like being in like I don't know, if you've ever been to Morocco or any place like that. Like this is much tamer. The people aren't grabbing you. The people aren't super, persistent.
Yeah. I mean, to me, like in a way, right? One thing that just doesn't really make sense, and when in a lot of these videos they complain about these areas, they essentially talk about how once again there's a lot of scams or whatnot. I mean, that's just every European city center, I think.
I think it's really easy to also show the small minority populations of countries that are fed up with the foreigners and the immigration and focus only on that. So it's easy to show up to a demonstration and kind of be like, Portugal's like extremely feeling this way about something. If you go to that place and it's a demonstration, of course it's going to be all these people that are going to feel that.
No, but what these guys do that make these videos about how Lisbon has fallen, they don't just go to demonstrations. They actually invite like far right politicians to the video to talk about. Yeah.
But they have it in the videos.
Yes. And like there's a lot of sussy things that the guy says. Like for example, there's this one moment where he says like.
Then there is also the ones who already have Portuguese citizenship. They're not Portuguese, but they pretend to be Portuguese because they have a card saying they're Portuguese.
Right. We have Portuguese citizens here who are pretending to be Portuguese. Like these people are not really Portuguese. They just got Portuguese citizenship. So.
Right.
It's just like, what do you mean by that? Like, what do you mean by that? You know what I mean?
You're talking crazy, looking crazy, your clothes look crazy, you look ridiculous. What do you mean, buddy?
Most Portuguese people that I've talked to are concerned about like the high influx of people that are flooding into the country, and they just want some type of regulation that's like a little bit, somewhere in the middle.
One thing that I think needs to be understood is that we're essentially not trying to make the point that, Portuguese people have no right to complain about this or whatever, but there's a difference, I guess, between like tackling the topic of immigration and just saying that like I'd rather have English and French people in my country than Indians. That's like a real moment in that video too. And then he gets into like a street argument and, there's like a lady who's calling him racist and he's like, yes, I am racist. What are you going to do about it? So like...
Well, what's I'm racist. What's the problem? What's the problem? Yeah, so just accept it. Yeah.
It's like you maybe had a point somewhere in there, right? But when you started saying all this shit in the video, that's when you lost me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's when I just feel like you probably have like strange intentions in a way.
Sure, there's an agenda to it. Yeah.
We're actually coming up to the area here that's like where they usually start filming.
Guys.
Like that place where there's people sitting around, like homeless people, and also Martim Moniz and stuff.
I don't know. I'm a little scared. I don't know. This is looking like a little.
I am scared, guys. Yes, it's sus. It's scarier than my neighborhood in Chelyabinsk, my hometown, where gopniks are fucking beating my face.
It's definitely worse than Detroit.
Yeah. Yes, it is. It is. Yes.
M&M would get leveled here.
Okay, so like this is usually where they start, you know, talking shit. Most of the time, like this is the area. You know, guys, here's how extremely easy it is to make content as a right-wing rage-baiting grifter. I'm just going around, like with a camera, innocuously, pointing at, you know, people who are struggling in life, and I'm like, look at these terrible fucking people.
Man, these people are not working. You can see they're not actually producing anything. They're just sitting around.
We have to do something about it. That's usually what they say.
Like the audacity to do that.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I understand it's a problem. I would say homeless people is like a problem, not necessarily a European or Portuguese problem. It's a problem of like the human condition and how our economy is organized and how we live. Like, I don't know. I just don't really ever understand what point these people are making. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so what's your understanding of like these shops usually that they have here? Like, because you know, you have a ton of these souvenir shops. You see, like, I kind of have a strange double-edged feeling about them in a sense, because I understand that in a sense, like, a lot of people are complaining how it's essentially like businesses that kind of are not like high quality in a sense, like they sell just like tourist junk. Yeah, it's just tourist junk. But the reason why I'm saying I have a double-edged like reaction to it is because usually at night here, right, when it's late and you're walking around the city and you know, you're like whatever, hanging out with your friends, you're drunk or something. Usually the only places almost where you can go and get like a water for yourself in a store are these stores. Yes.
Places, yeah.
So these, you know, places here that are opened by the immigrants, like Indians, Pakistanis, Bangladeshis, a lot of them are operated by them. But they kind of like save me from thirst on a daily, regular basis here in Lisbon,
all
honestly, because yeah, they
stores around the world.
They just don't have enough like Portuguese normal grocery stores here, almost like in the center. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like these places, they save me from thirst.
Stuff that stays open late.
Yeah, yeah.
You need water at 2 a.m. in the morning, don't you?
Yeah, and in Russia actually that's kind of similar too. Like in Russia, the stores usually that would be open late and also would illegally sell you drinks.
Yeah.
Because in Russia we have like a curfew, and at night you're not supposed to be able to buy drinks. Those would be like places run by immigrants, and like,
Sure.
for me they are actually a lifeline.
Yeah.
Like that's how I've always kind of treated them. I understand why people might be pissed off, of course, but again, like it's not in any way different from any other large touristic city or European city.
Sure, yeah. Well, or anywhere in the world.
Yeah.
I mean, go to New York City, go to Los Angeles, you know?
Yeah.
They got a bunch of Chinese-made Portuguese memorabilia.
Yeah, like little cards and magnets and stuff like that. Here for American tourists to buy. Fake cork, probably, yeah. This is probably fake cork.
Yeah.
It looks like it. Yeah, there you go. Fake Portuguese. Once again, theme park vibes, but like this is what happens when you're just a huge touristic city. Like, I don't know. But yeah, this is a pretty cool shot right here of with the castle. Pretty beautiful. And this right here actually is the square that is also kind of an area where a lot of these, yes, demonized, an area that a lot of these rage-baiting YouTubers like to record. It's a square called Martim Moniz, which is essentially kind of the center here of the entire immigrant neighborhood, you know, with, I don't know, just a lot of immigrants about. So they go here and they say, look at these, you know.
Because they don't fit our culture, they will never adapt, they have no loyalty to the country. A lot of them are criminals, they have a different culture.
Right. Unwashed elements or whatever, you know, not working, not contributing to society or whatever.
Right.
Not contributing to culture. I don't know, I think they are doing, not everybody of course, but a lot of them are. Like for example in this place right here, I actually want to show you, which is really, really cool.
Some of these areas are some of the best areas for great food.
Yeah, yeah,
They're
exactly.
famous. There's a Chinese like little alley back there that has these amazing, you know, clandestine.
While in traffic, can I tell you
Hi.
something?
Yes, yes.
Yeah, I would just want to say, the word is a giant screen, but you can flip the script and scream,
Nice.
stay trapped in the simulation or live your own dream.
Ooh.
The word is a giant screen, and you were born to kill the scene. Does it sound obscene? It always does when people don't understand what you mean. They'll never get the vision until it's the greatest thing they have ever seen.
Nice.
Hell yeah, man.
Have a good day, man.
That was awesome.
That was good. Yeah, there you go. Freestyle on the street of Portugal, of Lisbon.
Martim Moniz.
Incredible. That was sick.
We're getting absolutely treated to some spoken word over here.
Yes, yes, yes. Bars.
Some serious bars. At first, now we see the most dangerous part of Martim Moniz.
The stairs?
This is what people should be most afraid about here, especially Americans.
Yeah.
Better train before you make this journey, guys.
All right, so this right here is a cool little area that I want to show you. Once again, a really cool place to get food here. Oriental Market is like a place with a ton of Asian food. For example, this right here is a Chinese place, and I've actually had like dumplings food here. Extremely good, really, really nice. And then we can also like go up here a little bit, and here's even more stuff. Like there's an inside, essentially, food court here available for you. And yeah, you have like Japanese food, Thai food, all sorts of cool stuff. I don't want to annoy people pointing a camera in their face while they're eating, but pretty sick. You know, some like matcha boba tea here, and also inside a huge store there with like essentially goods from all sorts of Asian countries, China, Japan, and so on. So it's a really cool like cultural experience coming here, honestly. Like just a crazy amount of all sorts of different stores with a big variety of stuff. I think it's sick. All right, guys, so here we are right now on the square of Martim Moniz, once again, like the most demonized. He's just vibing, just a chill guy vibing.
It smells great.
Like marijuana? Yeah, it does. Yes, this is also a smell that I am used to, so like, whatever. I guess I'm also an immigrant lowlife, like these, you know, right-wing YouTubers like to say. I am, you know, what can I do? But yeah, this right here is the square of Martim Moniz, also like literally the center of this immigrant area here. Like if you go up there, which we will, that's like the street. Pretty much most people who live there are kind of like immigrants, I guess. But it's actually a neighborhood here that's kind of actually a little bit becoming gentrified now. Like things are actually changing here in Lisbon, as far as I understand. And even this area here, Martim Moniz, even though it's like super central, it used to be like a really, really bad, like shady place, supposedly. Like in the north, in the 90s and stuff like that.
Obviously, this was more populated with probably Portuguese drug addicts and
okay.
So it's changed a little bit in that regard, probably. But Intendent is the famous place that Anthony Bourdain came for the Cervejaria Camilo, which is where they first took him. That really popped off this neighborhood because
really, wow. So like, Anthony Bourdain started this place.
It kind of
the rejuvenation of it.
If you go to that area, everything around the restaurant is like super new and nice.
Cool, cool.
So
I actually didn't know. You're gonna show me the spot.
Yeah, we're gonna see it for sure.
Yeah.
But before we get up there, there's actually something I really want to show you right here.
Okay.
Because this is something that most alfacinhas, most Lisboetas, most people from Lisbon don't even know exists.
Thank you.
Okay, so come on, guys, come on.
Okay, let's go.
The stones on the ground here.
Okay.
Is that the stones mimic the shadow of this church on the ground.
Yeah.
And all the way around to the side. All the way to the entire side of the building.
Yeah. Oh, wow, yes.
This is a mimic side where the shadows of the windows, every single window is perfectly represented on the ground here.
Right. Yes, right here. Right here. Then yes, exactly, it mirrors. Wow, that's cool. I would have never actually even thought to kind of care or notice. I mean, I do look at these at the pavement usually here in Lisbon because it's, you know, cool. And like one thing I do like about Lisbon and Portugal overall is that here, even in like residential regular neighborhoods or whatever, you will have these kinds of like pavements with like different ornaments sometimes and stuff. So it makes any regular neighborhood kind of upgrades it a little bit with this like pavement, in my opinion. And here once again you can see like a lot of businesses. You know, they have even Chinese right in here because there's a huge like Asian also population here from like China and so on. A lot of Chinese supermarkets. So yeah, we're essentially kind of coming in now into the area that I wanted to show once again and talk about. This is also an area that is usually filmed by people who like to say, you know, look at these immigrants destroying our city. And essentially from my understanding, right, from like, as far as what I understand and know about the history of Lisbon and like the neighborhoods here, supposedly this area used to be like almost like semi-abandoned, right? And had like a ton of, once again, like it used to be super criminal. There was like drug dens or whatever, like brothels, that type of stuff. Essentially the picture they like to paint when they walk in these areas here, they usually like to say, look at this perfect, you know, neighborhood or whatever that was destroyed by, you know, immigrants coming. Whereas, you know, from what it appears to me, as far as I understand, Portugal had a huge exodus of native population, especially like after the fall of the Salazar's Estado Novo, yes. A lot of people, first of all, left, and this is why I actually have now in Portugal a ton of abandoned buildings in the city center. Building owners here in Lisbon actually literally left the city, left the country, and then right now, supposedly, the government has no way to like reach out to them. And because the building has an owner, and because like the owner doesn't really respond, the government decides to do absolutely nothing with it. You know what I mean? And this is why, you know, in Portugal you do have a lot of buildings, not actually particularly here. Here every building seems to me to be lived in. It's a weird policy in my opinion, definitely.
What happens a lot is there's a lot of family fights and a lot of weird discrepancies where someone in the family like doesn't want to let it go, or maybe they're not reachable, and maybe there's like a bunch of issues. And so there's not really a process that has been like created to make it to where the houses can just be like dealt with or overhauled. Like if there's not a decision. They don't give you like a hey, you have a certain amount of time to like figure out what you want to do with this. If you don't want to do anything, we're gonna do something.
That should be the policy in my opinion. Yeah, for definitely. Like, not to say that, you know, there's not things that Portuguese government could improve on. Clearly there are, right? So yeah, like for many, supposedly this is, you know, considered to be like the worst area of the city. And whatnot, which is also interesting to me. Doesn't kind of make sense because it's so central. Like the city center is really right behind us. There's kind of a divide here in Lisbon. Like if you go right, you end up here. If you go left, you end up in a kind of a more like tidy sort of like avenida. That's like Champs-Élysées or whatever. They have like Dior stores and stuff. You know what I mean? But I actually really like it here. Like I actually come to this neighborhood and I hang out here all the time. I go to like the Chinese stores there at the end of the street all the time. I love it.
Yeah, and so this is the Ramiro, the restaurant that.
This is the place. Okay, now, nice.
This is definitely not what it looked like when he first came here.
Right.
This was a very blown out. This whole neighborhood did not look like this. There was not as many people. It was a very typical cervejaria in Lisbon, and to a lot of locals, not that big of a deal. I know people that grew up here, but
do you want to grab a beer actually or something? Why not? Because if Anthony Bourdain was there, okay, and I'm trying to look like Anthony Bourdain in that one picture where he's sitting drinking coffee in that coat. I'm trying to be him. I'm trying to make my life look like that.
Look at this thing coming.
Oh yeah.
I need one of those.
Yeah. Cheers.
Cheers, buddy.
Drinking Sagres, by the way. Great Portuguese beer. This is the classic.
The Lisbon local.
I do prefer Super Bock though, but it is pretty good still. All right, just had the beer. Sorry, burping guys. Pretty cool. Let's keep going and investigating this awful, terrible, decadent, dystopian area of Lisbon.
Absolutely ridiculous. It's appalling.
But yeah, like once again, even like going through here, through this street, you can actually see what I'm talking about. Like this building here, pretty much like abandoned as far as I understand, the pink one. And like a lot of these buildings here, even on this street, like right here, the next to us, they also used to be partly abandoned. Some of them actually kind of slowly being rejuvenated. Once again, you see you have these businesses or stores being opened by, you know, immigrants living here. But you do have like its own issues here, obviously, in this neighborhood. For example, like one big issue I think is these like construction sites that never fucking stop. It's gonna be here for like 2-3. It's like gonna be here for 2 more years. It feels like to me almost, you know.
That is like the construction curse of Lisbon.
Yeah.
They're always like working on something and it never ends, you know.
Yeah. A lot of stuff to rebuild, I guess. You know.
Such a beautiful neighborhood, though. I mean, look at these buildings.
I love it. Yeah. Today also in this weather is just like perfect. So yeah, and pretty much like here, this is the area where like the immigrant neighborhood kind of almost stops here a little bit. Like it kind of like, as far as you keep going down this road and like, you know, there's like lesser few and far in between like places with like, you know, Indian or like Middle Eastern food.
Start getting into like my favorite Portuguese neighborhoods.
Okay.
These have beautiful neighborhoods with like houses and stuff that are more up here, like Ariairo, and then you end up in Alvalade, which is very Portuguese.
Yes. So yeah, like once again, when they say and you know they show these areas, once again, it's like such a tiny sliver of the city. It doesn't represent anything, and like it's way more chill than you like might imagine watching these videos.
You definitely have to say though that if you are like a single solo girl, to maybe avoid these areas at 2 a.m.
Fair enough.
If you're a female solo traveler and you're walking through like Martim Moniz and some of these places that are around here, I wouldn't advise it.
That's fair,
I would advise to come to these areas in
It's something that I don't think about being a 6'4" Russian unit, you know? But yeah, like even this area here is already kind of shortly getting gentrified, and funnily enough, this area here in particular is being actually a little bit gentrified by Russians. Yes, my people, because we do actually have a Russian bar here that's like pretty popular with like the Russian immigrant community.
And a pretty good sign that's gentrifying is 2 big words.
Craft beer. Exactly, yeah.
Kind of sounds good. Should we have one?
We can, yeah. It's good stuff.
We might need to.
Yeah. So yeah, this one is called Sputnik. It was literally started by like a member of a Russian like rap collective.
Really?
Who became like an immigrant. Their entire rap group essentially called Kasta. They spoke out against like the invasion and against the war and stuff. And one of the guys, he actually opened this bar right here, Sputnik, very Russian name. So yeah. Let's get sure we have another beer.
Let's have another beer.
Let's go. Getting drunk.
Let's do it. And we might just solve world peace right here.
Exactly,
right now,
yeah.
Over a craft beer at a place called Sputnik.
Yep.
Take that, SpaceX.
Exactly, yeah. I'm gonna have the fourth one. It's like a tomato-y beer. It's like a Bloody Mary almost.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
Let's do a taste test. We got our epic craft beer. Probably LV. So it's Latvia, I guess.
Oh.
Latvian beer. There you go. So post-Soviet beer also. Exciting. Let's try it. It's like
Give it a go.
it's a tomato gose. It's supposed to be like almost like a Bloody Mary. It's a tomato-y beer. I like this type of shit usually. So let's try it. Cool, I like it. It's like
a meal.
Yeah, it is. It's like tomato puree.
Yeah.
Basically.
I'm a big fan of Bloody Marys and micheladas in Mexico.
Yeah, it does feel like a michelada. That's a fair comparison for sure. There you go.
Some ghost pepper in here.
Add some to mine as well. Yeah.
How's that?
Hell yeah. All right, cheers, man.
Cheers, man.
Cheers to you as well.
He's definitely Brazilian.
Hell yeah.
Dude, that guy's
Dude's
fucking
rock.
awesome.
Dude's rock. This here says Lukashenko is gay, and also a Russian white flag. Very nice, very nice. Alright guys, I hope you enjoyed this little tour we had, me and Dave, around the fallen city of Lisbon. We apologize if this video triggered anybody, but as immigrants here in Portugal, we just feel like we kind of have to defend our beautiful city of Lisbon to a certain degree, right? From these naysayers, okay? Right. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this little walk we had around, this immigrant neighborhood. I thought it's very interesting. There's a lot of other sides of Lisbon that also I haven't shown on my channel, so hopefully, I'm gonna get into that later. But in this video, this is it.
And honestly, we had an incredible time here. So
yeah, it was awesome.
If you come to the immigrant neighborhood, you might have the time of your life.
Yeah, with the beers at the Russian place were great. We're actually a little bit drunk now, feeling good.
A little buzz. So yeah. That's the best way to be.
Yeah.
So come visit, come off the beaten path, don't get ripped off, and try some cool stuff.
Yes.
You never know, you might be surprised.
Exactly. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. Subscribe to Dave, check out his channel, he has a lot of cool videos showing around Portugal, different places you can visit and stuff like that. Yes. And yeah, subscribe for more, slap the like if you enjoyed this video, support us, and yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
Ciao.
Nice.